The Up and Adam Show is sponsored by the TopFlix app. Discover your next favorite movie and TV series and where to stream it. Explore trending titles, popular trailers, entertainment news, and much more, all in one free app. Download it on the App Store today for free. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Up and Adam Show. I'm your host, Adam Lupus. Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the like button, and please leave me your feedback down below. Today, I have a very special guest for you guys. He is the Highland Park ambassador of Eastern Canada, and he represents the Edrington portfolio of distilleries. Please welcome Cameron Millar. How's it going, Cameron?
Good, Adam. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. You're actually the first of I guess you could say, Scotch ambassador to be on my show. I've never had someone like you on before, so it's been really great to get some insight on the industry, about whiskey and understanding Scotch. So many things we're going to be going over today. And of course, we're going to be enjoying some Highland Park 12-year-old, which thank you so much for giving that to me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I hope you enjoy it. That's the important part about good Scotch whiskey is it's the ability to share it with people and for people to enjoy. Those are the only rules I like to have.
Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I wanted to try it and show you my authenticity with it and my true feelings towards it. That's why I haven't opened it yet, but I will be sipping it for this conversation. But before we get into that, I'm really curious to know, and I'm sure my viewers are as well, what is your job as an ambassador?
It's a great question. I get to do a lot of public speaking and presenting to fans of whiskey and fans of our distillery, Highland Park, all across Canada and even into the US sometimes. So I get to explain to a lot of people what I do, and defining it can be difficult, if I'm honest. You're an advocate, an educator, and an embodiment of the distillery. I could be a walking advertisement, but at the end of the day, I'm a big whiskey fan, a whiskey nerd, if you will, who loves the creation, the consumption, and all those little idiosyncrasies to whiskey. So my job is to help explain that to not only people who like the whiskey, but bartenders and bars and restaurants who want to sell it and understand what they're selling. No different than a sommelier who sells wine. I do that similarly, but I don't have the nose that they would have. My job is to help explain it in very simple terms and help them understand, what they're drinking. And so at the end of the day, I'm an educator, but as a whole, I'm someone who helps make the whiskey and the distillery itself as accessible as possible.
Perfect. Well, that's awesome. Well, again, you're going to educate me and explain in simple terms as well exactly what I should be experiencing when drinking this alcohol. So I'm going to be opening this up right now. I'm going to pour myself a glass. I'm going to let you know what I think of it first off and explain exactly what it tastes like. And then you could tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong, what I should be looking out for and stuff. So let me just do that right now.
Well, I know we're doing this conversation over the holidays, but I'm sure people will watch back. It will be any time of year. But as someone receiving this as a gift from me, what is it like in terms of the packaging? Because I love the packaging of Highland Park. It's one of the most stunning I've ever seen. So what's your first interpretation of it?
Well, when I first got it, first off, the embroiderment, the way you can feel it, and the quality of the actual packaging is really nice. And when I first got it, I was like, holy, like the sheen that comes off with it. I like how it's very simple. I like how it does have that rustic Scottish kind of look to it. That how to explain, like that royalty type of feel, right? Especially with the logo right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see right there. But I just like even the colors. The orange goes really well with the gray and the black. I like how it's just very simple. I'm not really crazy on like really, really fancy designs. I'm very simple. And this really, even the font itself, it's very straightforward. Highland Park, 12-year-old. And I think it's good quality too. The actual feel of it's nice as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, we actually rebranded our packaging and our bottles a couple of years ago, and it really was just to help people get more excitement around it and be able to grab it off of shelves because it's such an amazing whiskey that comes from a really special place in Scotland. So
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
glad it's already impacted well.
And even the bottle itself. So even first look at the bottle, like the way it feels, and it's really nice. Honestly, I've never even seen Highland Park before. First time. I've heard a lot about it. I'll be honest with you. And the way it is, it feels, the color of it, the smell. Oh yeah, that's nice. It smells really nice. It's not a very strong smell. It's very. See, again, I'm not a Scotch connoisseur at all. I've tried many Scotches. I've tried like Johnny Walker and stuff. I believe it. What Glenfiddich, is that the name for another one as well?
Yep, Glenfiddich.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I've tried like those two I know, but going to like family events, I've always tried whiskey and Scotch. But the smell of this one, I like how it doesn't seem too strong, overpowering, which is something that's really important. So I'm pouring myself a glass. Hopefully, I'm doing this like properly. I put ice in here.
Well, hold on, Adam. Before we go further, is that ice I spy in your glass?
Yeah, I should be drinking with on the rocks.
No, not yet. So, I guess before we get into all this, it should be understanding what are we drinking and how are we drinking it is, I think, really important for anyone tuning in. So,
Absolutely. I think I just embarrassed myself. I'm joking.
No, not at all. You're
joking.
eager, and that's exciting. I want you to want to drink some Highland Park. But when we look at any Scotch whiskey or any whiskey in general, you can drink it a number of ways. You can drink it neat, which is poured out of the glass or the bottle into a cup. Either you pour it on the rocks like you just have, and there's nothing wrong with that, Adam. I'm not trying to tell you that's wrong.
Perfect.
And then there's also having it in a cocktail. Most people think of whiskey and old fashions or whiskey sours. These are sort of traditional style cocktails with whiskey as a base ingredient. But when we look at drinking single malt Scotch whiskey, there's this contentious debate around drinking it neat with a little bit of water or on the rocks. And it'll always divide crowds. Having been in the industry for nearly 8 or 9 years now, having worked with distillery managers, whiskey makers, so on and so forth, adding a bit of water or serving your whiskey on the rocks is not a bad thing. There is this toxic masculinity about it that says, oh, I'll never, put ice and water on my whiskey. That's ruining it. It's not. Whiskey, the name, is Gaelic for Uskivaha, or water of life. So literally the name of water is in that name.
So you might as well.
You use local water sources to control the alcohol content, because what you're drinking, I've got a little baby bottle of Highland Park here.
Oh, nice.
You can get at some retailers across Canada. Yeah. It's 375 ml. So if you want to use this for camping or a nice stocking stuffer, I think it's ideal. But it's 43% alcohol. And so it's a bit stronger than the minimum you can legally go to when it comes to whiskey in Scotland, and that's 40%. That's much stronger than any beer or wine you will ever drink.
Oh, yeah.
So you always want to approach it knowing that. And so when you smelt it and you said, oh, it's actually quite nice, it doesn't smell very alcoholic, it still has a lot of power and volatility to it. And so when you do serve it on the rocks, you're immediately beginning to slowly chill and dilute it, bringing the alcohol content down. So what I've done is I actually served myself in almost a tulip-shaped glass here, and that's served neat. Now, I would typically, if I'm drinking a whiskey for the first time, I would try it neat, then I'd add a bit of water, and then I'd add a bit more water, and then I'd see how that whiskey changes. And then if I was having a guest over, I would then offer them, hey, if you'd like some Highland Park, would you like it neat on the rocks or with a bit of water? And then it's that person's choice. And so for you, you might tell me, Cameron, I would love my Highland Park on the rocks, and I would gladly serve that to you. So that's how you pretty much go and choose how you'd like to enjoy it.